Good evening. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Wednesday, 22nd of December, 2021. Did Santa leave the North Pole yet? Well, it looks like he is close. Maybe he did leave because the markets, they had a pretty good update today. Not everything. ARK still down. AMC is now that, if you will, the surge of Spider-Man over for the movie theaters. Could be, but they're getting Matrix. That shouldn't be too bad. Problem with that is it's already out on HBO, so you get a guy like me that wants to see it. Not going to the movie theater with this Omicron. I'll stay home in my big set and turn on the surround sound and enjoy it like in a movie theater. Never quite as good as you can imagine. I don't have one of those monster screens that could be, 10 feet. They're monstrous. I have friends that have them. When you go there, it is a movie experience, honestly. Gold up a little bit. You had, here as you take a look at some of the other parts of it, Apple still gaining, held the 18-day average very nicely. FXB trying to hold a little. Now, we have to also pay attention to what's going on around us. And around us, this is how I want you to think of it. Before I get going, I expect that if you're a regular viewer of this, every now and then give me a thumbs up, tell your friends about this, but something I want to bring on to make this more interesting. Write me here as you watch the YouTube and ask me the markets you want me to cover. And I'm going to pick a few each week and I'll hone in on them as well. Does that make sense? Something fun. Now, I do this in the webinars, and it really works. People love when that's it. I'll try to pick one of these and do a little more in-depth analysis for you, maybe daily, weekly charts, things like that, give you a better idea about it. So just write me. I'll start picking them. All right. So if Santa's left, why? Well, you got to realize the professional trader is gone now. He is in Bermuda, Jamaica, the Keys of Florida. He's somewhere that it's beautiful at this point in time, and that's where he's going to stay for a little bit. Do you honestly think he's going to try to take a lot of risk right now? I doubt it. So who's doing that? The retail trader. He doesn't go anywhere. He's that Robin Hood character. He's Reddit. Hey, we're going to do this. It doesn't matter. And they take over at this time of the year very often the marketplace. That's what it does. You don't have to believe me. I've only done it 50 years. You do it. I owned a stock firm. I owned futures firm. I saw the books. I saw what happens, who does the trading. So it's a phenomena. Watch financial TV. You'll see it. That's one of the reasons it's easy as the market goes up often. The word is often, not every year, often. It moves into that Santa Claus rally. So I'm trying to figure out what can derail it. And yeah, Omicron, but it's already known. And how bad it is known. Now we're hearing the Pfizer pill is going to be approved for emergency cases. So you get it the first part of it, the COVID, and you start popping the pill, you're not in the hospital. This is the idea. As bad as things are, you got to pay attention. South Africa. The early studies today were showing that of those getting the Omicron variant, if they had the Delta variant before a vaccine, they don't get as ill. That's important. So if this becomes the dominant, which it's done, it's past tense, variant that we got, then where do you go with everything? Here's what I think. I think that for a while, at least until the new variant comes out, we get a breather. Well, I don't think they're going to find that new variant as this has become the major one between now and the first week of January. Just a thought. So I look at Tesla, and boy, what a call. It filled the gap yesterday, and today it's up. And lo and behold, as it filled the gap, Elon Musk texts he's done selling. At least I read that, and he is done. That's all the market had to hear. Away you go. He's sold enough for his tax consequence for this year. He's already said he's going to pay in excess of $11 billion in taxes. Try to imagine how much money you make to pay $11 billion in taxes with, I'm sure he has loopholes and everything that's available to a man of his immense wealth. Unbelievable. But there's your pop in the market. Now, as we take a look, you can see on the swing line a lower and low, higher high. The downtrend ended. This is what the downtrend looked like. He started talking back in November, tweeting, do you think I should sell 10% of my stock? I'm going to follow what you say. And I'm talking to the tweeters. They said yes. Down you went in the marketplace. And now He said he's through. End of the game. I mean, if that isn't the classic, I give up as to what is. Where did the market stop today? It's even better. What's the line in the sand? The 18-day moving average of closes. Where did it go? Right there, and it stopped. Unreal. Where did the market find its major support? The 100-day average in the lower Bollinger Band. It was riding the lower Bollinger Band down to that. It was not the situation where the market hit the band, turned, and kept turning. It didn't do that. It went down, and day in and day out, it was riding that, finally got away from it, and you've had your pop. Momentum, you had an embedded reading, it's over. And you went right to the 18-day average. This is exactly what I teach in my enhanced Bollinger Band course. If I had to pick an example, classic that this is in many ways, able to add to shorts. It could have been better. You could have embedded earlier and it would have really been something to teach off of. It didn't. This is bullish embedded. Same thing. When you get it, you start your running panel. And you have to learn how to work with that. Go to our website, www.iraepstein.com, and all you got to do is go under the word education. A lot of this is explained in detail there. In Apple, you went down after you broke in, lost the embedded reading to the 18-day average, and you're bouncing. There is no trend in Apple right now. You have the low, well, actually, I think this is still a downtrend. Let me just check this. What is this number? Yeah, it is. It's still a downtrend. I'm looking at it. I don't know why I put that number there other than a bounce number. It's really lower highs, lower lows, and you held the 18-day average. My fault. I can just visually see it. I better be able to see those things after all these years. AMC. When we got up the other day, I said, okay, if it's good, it's still got to get through. A big resistance point, the 200-day average, makes its run and gets thrown back right away from it. This stuff's not hard to predict on a chart. Doesn't mean I'm always right, but it's really charting 101 for me. And that's what I bring to you in all this. So, are we in an uptrend? Yeah, you are. You're fighting a battle. The problem that you have to understand is this thing had a phenomenal surge from Spider-Man. And now you're going to get Matrix, and not everybody has HBO at home, so there'll be another bit of a run. Christmas is a ball to go to a movie theater, except Omicron. And that's what they're going to fight. I know in Chicago, as an example, you're going to have vaccines cards on to go into a movie theater, and are they going to go into every other seat is going to be vacant again? You know that. You got these problems, and it's only going to get worse, the Omicron. You don't need me to tell you that. Read what everybody's telling you. They have been so on the money, Fauci and this other group. You may not like these people. You may not like what they espouse. Their timing has been right there. These are scientists. They know what they're reading. And we're about a week away from really a mess coming at us in the United States. The great news is people are getting tested in vaccines, and if they can get these pills out, where if you get it, you don't have to flood to a hospital, you can take a pill, you get it, but it's a milder case, God bless that. That would be great. Meta Platforms, which is the old Facebook, the new name that's supposed to help it be a new company, I think it was a disaster in marketing. There's nothing wrong with the name Facebook. Lower highs, lower lows. I look at the market between here and the 18-day average for resistance. Too oversold to want to be short. It's hit its downside targets. Had a hard time going any further. XLI. So you're climbing back into the resistance. You got down to the Bollinger Band where I think the shorts covered everything. Now on the way up, you got layers of resistance, 200-day, 100, and the 18. The 18-day crisscrossed today the 100. See this? Just did it on the close today. Okay, that's not the best thing you can do. I look for that to be a pretty valid resistance zone in the market near term. Back up into semiconductors. I've told, and I don't mind telling you this, I told my traders that are my SPDR ETF paid subscribers, and I do that in the morning for them. I talk about these SOX and XSD, and there's others that we cover there. And I said, I think we wait for buy signals. We don't participate in the bear signals because once Omicron's done, everybody's going to want with spring around the corner. I know you think I'm nuts because the first day of winter is really now. But I'm already into the spring. And I'm saying they're going to want cars, they're going to want everything, and they need these semiconductors. These companies, Micron proved it the other day, they have tremendous, just tremendous back orders and pricing power. I think you wait on things like that. As an investor, as a trader, it's bearish, but I can elect I don't want to make a trade in a market. And I do that. Just because it's a chart doesn't mean I have to do something. CNBS. Cover shorts. Why? What do you do when you lose an embedded reading? You lost it yesterday, and you can see what this market is doing. So you're trying to pick up from here. You lost it today is what I should say. I'm already into the next day. You lost it today, Wednesday, with a 22 reading. So you can get it back, the embedded reading, if you close tomorrow back under 20. But the odds are you're not going to. The odds favor now you're going to get a short covering rally, potentially back to the 18-day average of closes there. When I take a look at XHB, tomorrow we get new home sales. Keep your eye on that. People say, well, people don't buy at this time of the year. I remember in the 1980s, I had a phenomenal apartment in Chicago on a street called Astor Street. And to make a long story short, I was going away for Christmas time. And we had put this up for sale. We wanted to move to something else in Chicago. And to make a long story short, literally right at Christmas, the head of a major, it was one of the Goldman people in Chicago, they got hold of my broker and it sold just like that. It was amazing to me. I'd go, who buys at Christmas time? I didn't have to move then, but you know how it works. So people do things, but no, it's not that active. Lower highs, lower low, sitting right through here. When you look at XLE, as you look at the market with the momentum through here, coming down, I look at just how that's sort of working with the things. We'll see what goes on there. EEM, lower highs, lower lows. Market's holding the lower band. It's oversold. It's not embedded. I don't see anything. But emerging markets, you can get bounces. Do you want to own them yet? That's the problem, fundamentally. And I'm already hearing for 2022, you want to own emerging markets. They said that last year, by the way. And if you followed them, this is just what it looks like now. Got to go back to the beginning of the year. It looks like ARC. When you look at GLD, markets, is it trying to break out? It is. It's trying to break out of this narrowness to the upside. Now, it's in the early stage. It's overbought at the upper Bollinger Band. I teach you never, and let me use that word again, never buy a Bollinger Band or over one. Never. So if it's going to embed eventually, then I'll find another way to trade it. It's certainly saying don't be short, but it's in a lot of resistance right now. XME, I'm dropping GDX. We're going to play with GLD and now XME I'm going to bring on because I like the mining stocks. If everything's going to get better, you need lithium, you need platinum, nickel. I can go on and on. There's big demand for those. I'm not in the camp that we're going to have a bad 2022, obviously. I know what people are saying. I'm also not in the camp that you're necessarily getting 3 rate hikes. So I'm more of an optimist. I'm in the camp that I want to give the market time to see if the supply chain issue drops and inflation starts coming down so much that the dot plotters back away a little bit. That's not to say you won't get some interest rate hikes. I'm not in the 3 camp at this point in time. I need more proof. I need to see the supply chain not fill for me to buy into that. Then inflation just keeps going. We'll see. Copper, still in a downtrend, but over this, I think it's just sideways action here, not doing a lot. In the futures, they turned off to the upside and they ran just as I was looking on the morning. This chart now, if you can clear it out, you might do it tomorrow, 35.66. You might get to the top band, but there's no buy signals in this. The only thing missing in the futures was the dollar risk. It was too big. TLT held the first challenge in a long time back here since mid-November of the 100-day average in green, lower Bollinger Band here, but in a downtrend. Now, because it's oversold, I don't think you're going to attract year-end selling in the market. You know, you'd have to embed to get me invited into that parade. So I'm looking for a bounce maybe to 150.53. Last in the euro, the trend turned up. However, you're caught in this narrow band. Which way? You do realize if this breaks out to the upside, those people that think the dollar's just going to the upside, they're wrong. Now, break it to the downside and those people are right. Right now, I don't know. I just see a churning market in there. So again, write me. Tell me what you want me to cover in these. It'll make it a little more fun. I don't have to have them up every single day. I'm going to rotate them, but I'm going to devote a section to what you've asked for. I'll put your first name, not your last name on it, and we'll see where it carries us. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.